Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to watching my videos, my name is Crystal. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me in my little corner of YouTube. But y'all already know what this video is. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe the time is finally here and I am going to be starting Iron Flame. So we are just gonna hang out for the next few days while I read this book. I will not be doing any spoilers. No spoilers. I will just be talking generally about the book and talking generally about how I feel about it. Then at the end of this video, I will do my full review and give my rating and all of that. So I am going to take off my makeup. I'm going to get into my comfy clothes and I am going to dive into Iron Flame. And I am so excited. So thank you for being here with me along this journey that I'm about to take. And I hope that y'all enjoy watching. So let's get into reading. Hello friends, it is the next day and I got to page 50 yesterday, or 51, 52, something like that. About to start chapter 7. This book picks up right where Fourth Wing leaves off. The first like 20 or so pages of this book, it took a lot of my brain power. I was like, there was a lot of names being thrown around, a lot of politics being talked about. I was very confused in certain points where I had to like reread certain areas. So it took me like over an hour to read 20 pages. Right now, it's basically just going through the aftermath of what happened at the end of Fourth Wing. And Violet is very upset with Xaden because of what happened at the end of Fourth Wing. If you've read Fourth Wing, you know what I'm talking about. But she has basically lost her trust in him. So she is kind of trying to deal with that and cope with that. But anyway, I'm gonna go make dinner, eat dinner, and then after dinner, I'm going to dive back into the book. So we'll see how far I get tonight. Okay, y'all, it is currently the next day. I'm about to dive in to more of Iron Flame. Jacob and I just got home from dinner. He's playing Call of Duty, so now is my time to read. I have on a little animal video for Albus because he loves those videos. He will literally just like stare and then he falls asleep. So it's currently Friday night and I'm spending my Friday on the couch with Iron Flame. Yesterday I got to, what page? 109. Gosh, I have so much left. This is a long book. It's like 600 and something pages. And the pages are so thin and the words are tiny. I just thought that I would do a quick little, like, give y'all an update and what I'm thinking so far now that I'm officially 100 pages into the book. And I'm going to be 100% honest right now because I will always be honest with my reviews. I don't care if a book is like the most hyped up book and everyone and their mom loves it and it's the best book since sliced bread. If I am not feeling it, I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm never gonna be the type that's like, oh, this book is so amazing just because it's so hyped and because everyone loves it. So I really try and like take all of that out of my mind when I go into a book, especially if it's really hyped, because I want to form my own opinions about it. I'm going to be completely honest about this right now. I'm not loving this right now. Being 100 pages in, I'm not like obsessed with it. With Fourth Wing, I love that book from beginning to end, from page 1 to page however many pages there are, 500 something, I don't know. I was just like enthralled in that story. I feel like there was this perfect balance of the politics and world building with the romance and the relationships and the character development and the action, the dragons. Like there was just like a perfect mix of all of it, which is what I like in a fantasy. With this book right now, I feel like my head is just spinning. This book, in my opinion, is just very, very politics heavy. And I'm not getting enough of the relationships. Like I want more Xaden and Violet. And I feel like Xaden has barely made an appearance so far. He has made an appearance, of course, but I thought that him and Violet's plot was going to be heavier throughout the whole entire book. And in the first 100 pages, it has been very minimal. That is one of the things I love so much about this series, about especially like with Fourth Wing. Their story is one of the things I just loved so much. And I'm really not seeing much of that in here. There is also so much talk about like the borders and the locations and the war going on between different people and there's like so many characters. I'm trying to really keep up with all of the characters, but to be honest, my brain can't handle it. Like I am so lost in certain aspects when they start naming out all these people and things and places. I'm like, what? This book, in my opinion, is like very politics heavy. I obviously don't mind politics in fantasy. You're gonna get that in a fantasy book. Like I know that going into fantasy that there's gonna be politics, there's gonna be world building, but I want there to be a good balance, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And honestly, this book is just not really that exciting. I'm like a little bit bored, but at the same time, if you are someone who loves like the politics and the world building in a fantasy book, then you're probably going to absolutely love this. Just because there is a lot of that so far in what I have read. I'm really, really anticipating that this book is going to pick up. I have heard the most incredible reviews about this and so many people just like saying how amazing it is and that the ending is great. So I'm excited to get more into the like meat and potatoes of this book, and hopefully it's just the beginning that has a little bit more of a slow start for me personally. But anyway, I'm going to dive into this right now. Jacob is currently playing Call of Duty. So while he's playing Call of Duty, I'm going to read a little bit more of this and I will keep y'all updated as I go. Y'all, I'm on page 228. I'm on chapter 24 right now. I feel like I am finally at a part where I want to keep reading. I have not been really that excited to pick up this book up until like right now, where I'm like, okay, now it's like getting good. I just feel like my brain is not wired to like understand the complexities of fantasy history, and when they talk about like borders and provinces and just things like that, I'm like, okay, it just goes over my head, to be honest. I don't know, my brain is just not, it like hurts my brain a little bit. And I just like check out. Now I finally feel like I'm at a place in this book where I am understanding what is going on. And I don't know if that's just me. Like I feel stupid a little bit, where sometimes I'm reading and I'm like, why don't I understand this? And I don't know if my brain just doesn't process that kind of stuff. So anyway, I am finally at a part where I feel like it's picking up for me and it's getting good and things are happening to where I'm like, okay, now I want to continue reading. And it's taken a while. So again, I'm on page 228. I'm going to continue reading. I'll probably read for the next like hour or so. And then the Cowboys play today. So we're going to watch the Cowboys game. And then I may not read tonight because I think we're going to like watch a show or something. I will update y'all as I get a little bit deeper into the book. Okay, y'all, it has been, I don't even know how many days since my last update. I've officially been reading this book for like 10 days or so, which for me is quite long. Usually it only takes me a few days to finish a book. With the fantasy, it does take me a little bit longer because I typically read fantasy a bit slower than I would read like a romance or a thriller or something. But I'm on page 515. This book has like 620-ish or so pages. What I'm meaning to say here is that it just feels like I've been reading this book for forever, and it just feels like it's never gonna freaking end. I'm honestly, like, at this point, I'm just ready for this book to be done. I don't think that it's terrible. I don't absolutely hate it, but I am quite bored. There are like little pockets of really good scenes, and just when I start to think, okay, this is getting good, then it just like gets boring again. It's actually kind of crazy how different this book is from Fourth Wing. I don't know. It honestly just feels like someone different wrote this book. That's the only way that I can describe it. I don't even know, but I'm just ready for this book to be done. So I'm trying to power through it and finish this today. My plan today is to sit here and binge this book until I freaking finish, because I'm ready to move on. Now, I am very, very aware that fantasy books are going to have slow parts for the politics, for the world building, for the character development, for the relationships. Like, I know that, but I feel like 80% of this book has been slow, and it's just, I don't know. I continue to read it because I have so much hope that it's going to get better. So I just keep going and keep going. But then like a good part will come and then it'll just like get boring again. I don't know. And it's like at this point, I'm too far into DNF. I'm too like attached to Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing got me so attached to the series that I feel like because Fourth Wing is one of my favorite books, like I need to give the series a chance. But I'm telling you right now, if book 3 is like this, I will probably stop the series at that point because it's been a struggle. Anyway, I'm hoping that the ending makes up for it. I've heard that the ending is really good. That's my update right now. Again, I'm on page 515. There's like 620-ish pages. I'm going to power through right now and finish this, and I will probably update you guys after I'm completely done with this book and give you my full review, my rating, and all of that. So we shall see. Let's finish this book. be over. Okay, let's read this again. Let's read this again. I don't get it. I don't get it. What? Am I stupid? I feel stupid. What? Oh. Okay, now I think I get it. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, I'm on the last chapter. 3 pages left. Let's finish this bad boy. Let's finish this shit. All right, well, I just finished. The ending was good. I wasn't expecting it, so I always like an unexpected ending. It definitely leaves you on a little like cliffhanger for the 3rd book. In terms of my rating, I think I'm going to give this book 3 stars. I didn't love this book. I didn't absolutely hate it, which typically a 2-star for me is like, I did not like the book, but I finished it kind of thing. 3 is sort of like a middle of the line book. There were some little pockets and good memorable scenes, but for the most part, it was just like, it was fine, you know, like that kind of thing. I want to do a little bit of a recap because I don't think I actually mentioned or said what this book is about. And I obviously don't want to spoil this for anyone. It's really hard to talk about what this book is about without spoiling it, because this is the 2nd book in the series. In a nutshell, this book is about Violet keeping a lot of secrets being revealed, and Violet also trying to save the people of the continent. That is like the most general way that I can put it. This is also about Violet trying to forgive Xaden for things that he did in the 1st book, in 4th Wing. And to be honest, I was like annoyed with Violet for a lot of this book. She seems just like such a different character than she was in 4th Wing, which I understand. She has gone through so much growth since 4th Wing, and in 4th Wing she grew so much as a character, but in this book, I don't know, she was just, there were so many times where I was like, okay, I know you're upset at Xaden, but like, get over it. Like, he's leading a revolution, there's gonna be secrets, there's gonna be things he can't tell you, like, get over it, like, get over yourself. I don't know, I was just over that storyline, and I wanted that to just like move on, you know? There's also a dragon in this book, Andarna, who was a little yellow dragon in 4th Wing. If you've read 4th Wing, then you know exactly the character that I'm talking about. But she was one of my favorite characters in 4th Wing. I just like, oh my gosh, I just loved her character so much. And I did not like her storyline in this book. I won't say more than that, but I just don't really like the direction that her storyline went. I don't know. I just felt like 4th Wing was so fun, and it just like took me on an adventure. That is the best way to put it. And this one just didn't really do that for me. This book was just not as fun. It was a little bit more serious. It was so heavy with the politics and the history and the world building and the talks of like the borders of their continent and the details of the war, and like it was just, I don't know. I feel like it was way too heavy with that, and I wanted more of like the dragons' personalities and the romance and the action. And you do get some of that, of course, you get pockets of that in this book, but it was just, for me, all of that was overshadowed by all of the politics and history and world building and war. And it's just, I don't really love fantasies like that, where that is like the forefront of the story. I understand in a fantasy there's going to be pockets of that, of course, but this was just like a little bit too much for me, and I found myself getting just super bored, and a lot of it just went over my head to where there were some points where I just gave up trying to figure out what the hell they were talking about, to be honest. I don't know if that's just me. I'm like, am I dumb? I don't know. I think it just went over my head. And when I read a fantasy that is super heavy with that, I kind of check out. Now, there were so many parts of this story that I think were good. Like the storyline itself, the main storyline was good. And the direction that it took, the ending that it took, I really liked. But I think for me, it was just the writing and it was just the execution. There was a lot of fluff in the writing. This book is so long, like entirely too long. It's like 620 pages. And I feel like this book could have been 200 pages shorter. Like, there's just a lot of fluff and just so much like unnecessary detail that I just feel like this book did not have to be as long as it was, and it felt very, very dragged out. Now, once you get to part 2 in this book, I feel like the action and stuff does end up picking up, and there are some really good scenes in this book. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple of scenes where I was like, ooh, okay, this is getting really, really good, and I was getting that feeling of like excitement and being on the edge of my seat and just being like enthralled in the story. And then a scene would end, and then it would go back to just being like bland and boring again. And I just like, it was so weird. But that's why I'm giving this book a 3, is because there were some aspects of this that I really enjoyed. And like I said, I do really like the storyline, with the exception of Andarna's storyline. I didn't really like that, but everything else, the main plot and the main story, I feel like is good. And the ending was good. And there were some scenes in part 2 of the book that I really, really enjoyed, but I don't know. I just feel very bummed and very underwhelmed because I had such high expectations for this. Fourth Wing is one of my favorite books, and I was just so excited to read this and to kind of get back in this world, which I will say, I loved being in this world again, and I loved the setting of this book, like them being at the War College and all of that. The setting was really good as well. Also, spice level, because I know some people like are curious about that. I would say the spice in this is very similar to Fourth Wing. There's only a few spicy scenes. I can think of like 3 off the top of my head that are spicy, but they go by very quick. So I will be reading the 3rd book. Like I said, this book does leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I just like have to know what happens. So I will for sure be reading the 3rd book. I am hoping that it's better than this one. If you enjoyed this book and you gave it 5 stars and you absolutely loved it and you don't agree with anything I'm saying in this vlog, I am so sorry, but I believe me, like, it hurts my heart to give this book a 3. I really, really, really wanted to love it. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it, but I tried. I really, really tried. And if you haven't read Iron Flame, I don't want this review to push you off or turn you off from reading this book. I hope you will still give it a chance. Because I know some people absolutely adore it. I've seen so many amazing reviews on it, and hopefully you'll have a better experience than I did. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to end this vlog here. I really hope that you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for sticking around if you are still here. I hope y'all have a good day or night wherever it is you are, and hopefully I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, guys.